Okay, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Decided to take a few minutes out from our emergency response to get the local media up to speed on where we stand on our response to this situation. My name is Joseph Campbell. I'm the Public Information Director for our Emergency Operations Center, and I'm going to introduce the other participants we have in the response today. First, we've got Juan Alvarez, who's the Deputy Lab Director for the Idaho National Laboratory for Operations and Management, and the Chief Operations Officer. And next we have Cherie Morgan, who's the Director of our Radiological Controls Group. And then next we have Fred Hughes, who's the President of Fluor Idaho, which is the cleanup contractor here at the site.
Back here, we're going to try to get somebody to come fix that for us.
Okay, thank you. Will we help if I back off a little bit? And then next we have Joel Goswiller, who's the Bureau of Land Management Fire Management Officer, helping to lead the fire department's response. And then we have Bob Boston, who's the manager of the DOE Idaho Operations Office. And then Wade Allen with the Idaho Transportation Department District 6. And they'll all be available to answer questions after we provide some initial statements. As you've probably seen from the announcements that have come out so far, the sheep fire, as it's been dubbed by the responding fire departments, have been responding to this fire that started at approximately 6:30 p.m. last night after a lightning strike. The BLM and the Idaho National Laboratory Fire Departments have been heavily involved in the response at since that time. The Emergency Operations Center activated not long after that, and fire officials have been continually updating the burn estimates as the fire proceeds. This has been a very unpredictable and rapidly changing situation. So some of the early numbers on the acreage estimates were a little...
Well, good afternoon. My name is Juan Alvarez. I'm the Idaho National Laboratory's Chief Operations Officer. As mentioned just a few minutes ago, last night around 6:30 p.m., the fire started in kind of a grass fire, rapidly spread, and resulted in us activating our Emergency Operations Center and starting to take firefighting actions. Fires this time of the year is something that we expect and prepare for. As a result, as we fight this fire, there has been no injuries, no facilities have been threatened, and the public has not been threatened at all. We have evacuated all the non-essential personnel from most of our facilities all the facilities that are impacted by the fire. Only the essential personnel remain, which are those that are critical to our safe operations, and also the firefighting personnel. As we proceed, we will update all of you. The more we learn about where the fire stands and where we stand in our ability to suppress it. With that, I would like to get an opportunity to introduce Joe Goswiller, who is the Fire Management Officer for the Idaho Falls District of the Bureau of Land Management, to kind of speak specifically to where we are on the firefighting tactics and the results.
Yo.
Thank you, Juan. Well, we were able to catch up to the fire a little bit this morning when we were able to get helicopter and map the fire's acreage. At around 10 a.m. this morning, we had it at right around 85,000 acres. And currently on the fire, there are 4 dozers, 15 engines, and water tenders, with an additional dozer and 2 strike teams of engines coming from local cooperators. So that'll be an additional 10 engines and another piece of heavy equipment. So they focused primarily on the northeast section of the fire last night to go direct attack and put in fire line right on the edge of the fire and chase it around as the thunderstorm pushed it in multiple directions. We were able to get some air support last evening to help them get a toehold on it and make a good start. They were able to put in some good line, but the thunder cells came through all night. We've been taking lightning into early hours this morning. So a lot of erratic winds last night pushed it pretty hard to the south and southwest. We were able to get good air support this morning to come and help the folks on the ground. So we have one very large air tanker, 3 large air tankers, and several single-engine air tankers now supporting the troops on the ground. So yesterday was all about direct line construction on the edge of the fire and trying to anchor and flank the fire to put it out. With that fire behavior, that outpaces our line construction. So this morning they were able to start backing off and going with the indirect strategy, utilizing some existing roadways and constructing a heavy equipment dozer line away from the fire's edge and backfiring off of it to help contain the fire. So they're doing a little bit of that this afternoon. They anticipate doing some on the eastern side and some on the northwest side. The primary focus of the rest of the ground resources right now with the heavy equipment is putting line construction across the north end of the fire. It's anticipated with today's weather, the winds will switch back out of the south, pushing the fire to the north, so they're trying to bolster that area to be able to corral it. As far as our percentage of containment, at this point it's so dynamic and changing so quickly we don't have a good number on that exact amount, but a good portion of the eastern perimeter of the fire is looking in good shape. The southwest fire, where it moved into some of the facilities this morning, is now in good shape where it's moved along a lot of the roadways, so they're focusing now on the north end and that little bit of east end with support of the air tankers for line construction on the ground. Any questions? In addition to this incident, I guess that's the other local thing, is that we have cooperation from Misteke's local, state, federal partners. So we have a lot of the engines that are coming out today are coming from our local cooperators. And then with our commitment to this fire and helping with INL, we also have a lot of resources coming in from Montana to help be prepared for more starts that may come with the lightning today. So we're beefed up for more starts and adequate resources on this fire for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. Fred, would you like to come on up?
Good afternoon. I wanted to address what we're doing to protect the waste management facilities. As Juan indicated, we evacuated non-essential personnel from those facilities. I have a small group of individuals who are manning the emergency center out at the radioactive waste management complex. That includes utility operators, RADCON technicians, and emergency personnel. They are monitoring the facilities, making sure that they remain safe and operational. The advanced mixed waste treatment facilities ventilation system is in operation and maintaining its proper mode today. And we will continue in this structure until we have addressed the situation and the fire has been mitigated. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to invite any questions from the local media representatives, and we'll have the panel answer those questions, as appropriate. Yes.
What area did the fire start in?
I'm sorry?
What area did the fire start in?
The fire started approximately 5 to 10 miles north of our materials and fuels complex facility. So I can point out on the map here, approximately this region right here. And then, as Joel said, it rapidly started to move to the south and the southwest.
Do you expect that you'll have to come evacuate any other INL facilities other than the ones you've already evacuated?
I apologize.
Do you expect you'll have to evacuate any other facilities other than the ones you already have?
At this time, we do not anticipate having to evacuate further facilities. If the weather changes the direction the fire is headed, that could change in the future. I'd recommend you keep watching our social media updates and for the new press releases as new information comes out. We'll keep you up to speed if anything changes.
Homestead is at about 85,000 acres now?
That is the current estimate, yes. Yes.
I know you said that the fire hasn't hit any facilities just yet. At any moment, was there any fear that it would have hit anything in particular that could have harmed the community?
It could have got within probably 2 to 3 miles of the INTEC facility. That's the Idaho Nuclear Technology and Engineering Center. As shown on the map, right over here. So it got pretty close to that facility, but each one of our facilities has a security fencing with a built-in fire break around that for protection for just this kind of a situation. So we don't think it would have presented a serious threat to any of our facilities. Yes?
It was mentioned that the hope is that the fire, or the winds will switch from the south, start pushing the fire back. What is the plan if that does not happen?
If that does not happen, that they will continue the strategy of protecting the facilities that the fire is close to at the south and southwest end of the marked fire area there. Your guess on the weather is as good as mine. The prevailing winds in this area are always from the southwest to the northeast. What we've seen over the last night is out of the ordinary for us.
How close is the fire to, from Atomic City and Butte City? Do people who come live there afterward?
They do not at this time. Atomic City is at the far southern border of the site, so they're well out of harm's way. Any other questions? Yes.
How much of the fire has been contained so far? Is there any estimate on knowing when it will be fully dissolved?
Joel, I'll let you take that one.
It's a little bit dynamic right now. They were able to put in some good line on the eastern side of the fire, but it moves so fast we don't have an accurate number on percentage contained. We're making some good progress and hopefully in a couple days.
It'll be a couple days.
Yep. And then, as I mentioned, we will continue to update you with our current, with our social media feeds and our press releases on what the latest numbers are.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
Why is it called sheep fire?
I'm sorry?
Why is it called the sheep fire?
That I don't know. Joel, do you have a guess on that?
I don't know yet either.
It's
That was the question we had last night. I believe our initial attack plane from the sky called that in, so I'm not quite sure yet.
it,
Really
it
use it as a reference for something that was on the ground nearby where it started.
yeah, it's often the firefighters on the ground that hang a nickname on these things at the early stages, and it usually sticks. So can never quite predict that. If there are no more questions, I don't think our Blue Jeans, the teleconference feed is working quite properly. So if any media members have called in and we're not able to participate, please contact our Joint Information Center with any other questions you have, and we'll get you those answers as quickly as we can. And thank you very much for participating.